Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Avini Vibes. Today is June 5th, 2025. I'm your host, Christine Rolando from Warwick, New York, and co-host Carol Witt. She's off camera tonight, but she's still there, always there, helping to support the seamlessness of these recordings. So thank you for that. Dr. Nikita's in the house with us. Hi, Dr. Nikita. And of course, Chip Littlejohn is with us, as well as many other familiar faces. And it looks like we even have some guests in the house. So this is just an amazing call, and we are so blessed to have a company with the most amazing products, leadership, and a company that is changing lives. Yeah, changing people's lives. And I think Eddie always says EQ is going to join us shortly. Always says, we're not a supplement company. We're just a company that takes the bad out to make its way for the good. So with a reminder of that, keep that in mind tonight, but also just remember, we don't make any medical claims, we don't diagnose, and we don't treat, but we're here to learn, to listen, and to share. So again, I welcome you to the call. And tonight we have a very special guest. We're going to do the format a little bit differently tonight, if you just joined us. We're going to have our guest come forth right away because he's got to jump into an MST program just at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So I'm going to welcome Dave Guilday with us tonight. Dave, where are you? I see you somewhere. We're going to unmute you. There he is. And
I'm
I'm
here.
fortunate enough to get to know Dave because we are co-hosting an MST training together. And we just started our groups, and it's pretty exciting to get to know this man. Dave's been married no, actually he's been married, believe it, 49 years. I thought I read that wrong. And he was married at 19 to his wife, Jane. And this blew me away. 6 kids in 8 years by age 28. My son's 32. I just went in and said to him, you need to listen to this man. He's got a lot of wisdom. So, Dave, you've been a business owner your whole life as raising those children. You have many feathers in your quill. So thank you for being with us. Please join us tonight. Everyone, welcome Dave Guilday from
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm not so sure how exciting that is, 6 and 8 years, but I sure am glad it's over. Um, Jane and I were married at 19 while I was in the Air Force, and we raised 8 children. We had 6 biological kids, and then we grabbed 2 more girls later in life. We read that book, If You've Got 6 kids, You Need 2 more. And so we don't recommend that book for everybody, but we grabbed a couple more. So we have a daughter, for instance, who's 23 and in college now, and Jane and I are both 68. I was a business owner most of my life, and at 36, I went bankrupt and I had to start all over again. For the first time, I had to get a job, and I went to Salt Lake City. While I was there, I was approached to join a network marketing company called Niken. Let's see, where am I here? Okay, sorry. This is a good time to mention that I had failed 8 times in network marketing before this and had lost $80,000. Most of it's savings that I used when I went full time too early. So this time would have been my ninth company and my last time in network marketing. I decided that if I couldn't make it this ninth time, that was it. I was over. So as I started, I felt like I was raising my arms above my head, saying, "Beat me one more time. I can take it." I didn't have a lot of faith that I could make it, but I just really wanted what the dream was. During this process, I'd moved to Nashville and I was still working. That was in September of 1996. By July of the next year, I was making $8,000 a month in network marketing. My first year in that company, I did 92. The next year was 132, 100, 182, 82, and then 185 was my high year. So I started building in Nashville on January 2nd of 1997 in the cold market. I got business names out of the phone book and I was successful. I started with car sales managers. I got all the car places in Nashville and I call them up and say, "What's the car sales manager's name?" And they would tell me who it was. I said, "I want to talk to that guy." And I had a script and I just went through the script. If you do enough numbers, it works. So what was the difference this time between compared to all the other 8 times? I thought that was an interesting question. So I kind of researched it and I found 6 steps that made a difference to go to the top. One was a committed
Hey, Dave,
purpose.
I'm going to recommend, I just want to interrupt you for a minute. Everybody get your pen and paper out because you're going to want to hear this. Go ahead.
Okay. It takes 6 steps to go to the top. One was a committed purpose and a vision would focus. Um, I wanted to be diamond, just like we do in Avini. That's my goal in Avini. Black diamond exec is my goal. $80,000 a month, $1 million a year. That's my very specific goal in Avini. And I had a goal for in that company to go diamond. So it was January, and I had borrowed $10,000. That was enough for 2.5 months to be able to support my 6 children and my wife and I. And after that, we were going to be homeless. So I remember first 2 weeks, I would wake up and I would just wake up in sweat and fear because what was I doing? I had 8 of us and I've never done this before. And here I am, doing that. But I kept visualizing every single night. It'll all be okay when I'm a diamond. It'll all be okay when I'm a diamond. And in the mornings, I would sit in a chair and I visualize me being on stage as a diamond distributor. And after the 2 weeks, about that third week, I still woke up, but I could go right back to sleep. And then by the fourth week, I didn't wake up anymore. And I went on to become what they call a platinum by July. Um, it takes a work ethic with courage. I remember July 2nd. I had never done cold calls before. And I can remember my first 2 calls to this day. This was years ago, 1990. I can remember I stuttered. Now, I'm not a stuttering kind of guy. I wasn't even then. But I stuttered because the fear just got me in my throat as I did those first couple of calls and went through it. But I just kept making the calls and making the calls and making the calls. So work ethic with courage. Mentor, teacher, coach makes a huge difference. We're blessed in Avini to have a ton of those. You've got Paul Stowers, you've got Christine, you've got a number of people who can teach you. We got diamonds, and here's the neat thing. This is kind of like I've heard elephants are like this, that all the children in an elephant herd, everyone will take care of them. Well, that's the way Avini is. Everyone will take care of it. I call people that are cross-lined to me and I say, listen, I got a question. I got a concern. Robin West isn't anywhere in any of her money lines, but she takes my questions and that's the way it is. So mentor, teacher, coach makes a difference. Definable duplicatable information process. We got to have something so that when you bring people in, you could say, "Oh, don't worry, I know how to do it." We used to say, it's kind of like McDonald's. If you get a good location for McDonald's, even if you don't like hamburgers, do you think you can be successful? The answer is, if you follow their system, yes, absolutely. And then I would tell people, that's us. We have a duplicatable process. Even if you're unsure, our process works. And people got courage from that. And besides that, it makes it a lot easier to build. The next, emphasis on personal development. Now, for me, the biggest was changing from scarcity mentality to abundance mentality. I was just so penny pitching and all of that. And I just couldn't imagine that there was enough out there for me, that there was abundance out there. And over time, reading the books at that time, reading the books and going to the seminars and stuff, I was able to change that. Now we have a company. It's amazing. We have a company that pays a trainer to train us to do this stuff, and the company pays for it, thousands and thousands of dollars, so we can become personally developed. I'll tell you, I've never seen that before. And then coachability. I remember my sponsor. Her name was Marlene. She went on to make 800,000 a year. She told me in the beginning. She said, "Dave, I will work with you, but you have to do everything I say until you're making $20,000 a month." She said, "Everything. To the degree you don't," she says, I'm going to move on because I am serious about building and I need someone who will do what I said." I said, "I will." Well, I didn't keep my commitment. About 10,000, I stopped listening to her, which is why I never got much above 10,000. But coachability makes a huge impact. Being able to listen and go with it. Well, 8 years later, Nikin was changing, so I went ahead and sold it. Now, I wanted to point that out. The business that you build in Avini is willable and sellable. It has value. Would you rather own a house or rent? Well, that's obvious. Do you want to have a job, rent, or would you rather own? I always wanted to own. So 8 years later, I sold it for 86,000. And in my 8 years in that company, I made about $1 million. all together, including the sale. And so I'd never made that kind of money ever in my life. Now, I went to another network marketing company, made another six-figure income. There's a lesson here. Once you learn the skills and become a network marketing professional, you can go almost anywhere and succeed. Guys, it's a skill. It isn't luck. It isn't, I was born this way. I mean, here's the deal. I was in the roofing business. I'll tell you that story. I was in the roofing business for the last 14 years. I'm a certified roofing inspector. Now, let me tell you the requirements to be a certified roofing inspector. You can have no more than a third grade education. And I qualified. I mean, you don't have to be anybody to do this, guys. Okay. So I went to another one and I developed another six-figure income. The products we had, like Avini, made life-changing impact on people. And it was hard not to get caught up with what the products did for people, forgetting that there are other hurts that people face. You see, I didn't get into network marketing because of a product experience for me or my family. I've never had one. Only recently have I had a product experience with any of the companies I've been in, and that's with Avini. I've lost 37 pounds on their Trim Science, and I'll just swear about it. I'm losing 2 pounds a week. I'm feeling better. I'm healthier and happier than I've ever been, and that's a product experience. But back then, I never had a product experience. Now I knew the products work because of other experiences around me, and it made me feel great. People that I got the product to would have experiences and life-changing whatever, and it made me feel good. But I wanted you to know, I didn't get in because of a product experience. I got in because I was so sick and tired of being sick and tired and broke without time to spend with my money. I'm 36 years old, bankrupt. I have no time to spend with my children, working all the time, and I needed something. And this industry was that something, okay? So, what's the point? The point is to make sure that when you're out there, that you don't just look for people who are sick. There's a lot of different kinds of sicknesses. You wouldn't have got a Dave Guilday if it was that. My sickness was no time and no money, and network marketing. Avini can fix that problem. Well, I spent time and raised my children with my wife while they were teenagers. You know, we had them pretty close. They were 11 to 19 one year. That was the year Jane went into the sanatorium, but she's much better now. So anyway, they were 11 to 19, and I was there raising them. I didn't miss anything. I was at every game. Didn't matter the time of the day. I worked 15 to 20 hours a week. We had plenty of time and plenty of money. And it was wonderful. And that's what network marketing did for me. Now, at 55, I got out of the industry and I built $1 million roofing company, and I loved it. In fact, roofing is a real love for me. I know it's weird. I love being high. Our saying is all great roofers are high, and so I was. So now, why did I get back into Avini? I got back into Avini. I joined 3 years ago when it started because of Dave Johnson. I knew Dave. He was in that other company, and I respected him. Now, there's a lesson here. The lesson here is people don't join companies first. They join you first. Everyone that's on this call right now, if a person's going to get into Avini, the first thing they look at is you first. I mean, so my question is, make sure you're a kind of person that's joinable. That's the reason for personal development. The better you become, the more people are attracted to you. The more they want to join you, the more they want to be around you. That's why it's so important that we become, so that we can attract people and make a difference in their lives. Not just physically, we know we can do that, but in other ways too. I want you to know, everyone on the phone, you can be that person. Here's how I know. I was that person. I mean, 36, I was a bankrupt guy, not real excited at the time, but you can be that person. So in the 45 years in network marketing, I've never seen a company as strong as Avini. I have it written down, but I can't tell you from the heart how strong I feel about that. Here's a partial list of why. We have the strongest group of technologies, products I have ever seen. 45 years in the industry, and I've never seen products and technology that are this strong. From the very first, Cell Defender, to the very last, Plus Balance. I mean, they all make this huge impact with people. So we're offering real substance, not smoke and mirrors. We have real substance. I talked to a person today in my outreaches, and I told them that we had stuff that they'll never see again, and they can't get anyplace else, just us, and I'm proud of that. We have a compensation plan that pays out 47% of every dollar. Every dollar that comes into Avini, $47 of it goes out to us. That's unheard of. In the last company I was in, 28 to 30%. We did all that work and got 28 to 30% of the dollar. They kept 70, and our company pays 47. The company owns all of its technologies. I was in one company one time, and we were going strong, and they pulled the technology was owned by somebody else. And that company said, we don't want to do business with you anymore. So here I am, the marketing arm in a company, and we don't have a product anymore. And they scurried and they tried to get something, but that's just cobbled up. We own it. We own that. And I just am proud of that. We control all aspects of the manufacturing process. We're vertically integrated as I like to tell people that the raw material comes in the front door, and when it goes out the back door, it's packaged and shipped wherever it needs to go. And we do it all. I get some products from another company, some good products, and they have what do they call it? A fulfillment house. It takes forever. They go ahead and they ship their product. I think they get their product from somebody else, then they ship it to someplace else, and that company ships it out, and they're spending money on all that. That's just hoodoo. I love the fact that we're who we are. We have company owners who really care about us and prove it. I was in one company. I was a top distributor on the East Coast in that company, and company owner called us into Salt Lake to have us. And the reason they did is because our retention was only 10%. Means that you could have 100 customers get on the product, and after a certain period of time, only 10 of them would stay on the product. Now that's not our company, but I'm just telling you that company owners make a difference. They went out of business, and so there I was out of business with them. So these people I know, and I've dealt with company owners. I've been around them, and they're the best of the best. I really love those guys. They spend money on personal development. I'm going to be on the MST program here in a little bit. All of you will qualify for that if you choose to do it, as you attain a not very heavy rank to be able to do it. and our company, Neil, is spending thousands to do that. Thousands to be able to have someone train us, okay? They pay on time and they ship on time. I really like that. In fact, I got paid on the 9th of the last month. I mean, it wasn't even the 10th, on the 9th. Well, the list goes on and on. But if you've ever wanted to help people in significant ways and make a part-time income, a full-time income, or a big-time income while being in a family culture, you're there. Avini is it. That's all I have to say as far as the training.
Dave, thank you so much for sharing that. I hope you all took notes because those are key factors in the success. And, everyone has their own goal and their own desires, or how much you want to put in or how much you want to take out. So it's all up to us individually. But we love your enthusiasm. I'm going to just open it up because I know we only have you for a few more minutes.
I didn't talk too slow, did I?
I think you're from New York with me. You're born in New York.
I am from New York.
Christine, but before we lose Dave, could I just make one observation?
Sure.
Okay, you all just heard Dave speak. I've been around him for a couple of careers or two, and he's like this. But where did he learn what you just saw? Network marketing is the strangest school because you start in 3rd grade and you go through masters, and you just saw a guy basically born and raised intellectually in network marketing. Mm-hmm. Got all his business savvy, his speaking skills. I mean, he had his hands all over your dashboard wondering, what are you made of? Are you willing to do it? Can you organize? Can you, face the trials and tribulations to get started? I mean, he is a master of personal development. I'm sure MJ is getting a big kick out of having him in the class. I know MJ, I have to say, finds something special in everybody and enjoys everybody. But when he comes across somebody like Dave, I'm sure he's probably taking notes like crazy too. So
he complimented my hair one time.
He blew in your ear?
No, thank you for that. That's not true. But he complimented my hair one time.
There you go. There you go. Anyway, I just wanted to recognize this is a great place to learn, and you become an amazing person interacting with so many other humans. The people you reach out to will teach you, not just the ones that are supposed to help you, the ones you're recruiting. If you take a minute and listen to them, that's an education.
You bet. Thank you.
Good point, Chip. Gary, you have a question for Dave.
Yes, Dave, this is Gary in Maine. My question is, you started doing cold calling. What are you doing now?
Cold calling.
Really?
If you're been in network marketing, at least this guy, you run out of warm market. If you're doing it seriously, you run out of warm market in 3 to 6 months. Now, so what I've done is I collect business cards. I met Casey today at Walgreens. He was a manager and he helped me find a product. So I got his name. I went ahead and called him back and said, Casey, I'm the guy that you helped find that mirror. And he said, oh, yeah. I said, Casey, I'll tell you what, you have great personal skills, whatever. I'm a recruiter for a international health technology company, and we're expanding into the Cookeville area. We could use a person like you on our team. Would you be willing to look at 7 minutes of information if it wouldn't conflict with what you're already doing? Well, guess what he said?
Of course.
He did say, of course.
Great, thank you.
You bet.
Okay, now who wants to repeat what he just said? We're going to practice tonight. So, Richard, you have a question.
Yes,
you want to
Dave, I
repeat
want to
that?
thank Dave Guilday because he inspired me with cold calling, and I've loved it. He's helped me immensely, and that was part of my experience, and it's grown, and it's been amazing. Thank you so much, Dave.
Said the products are amazing. Eddie, thank you. You always do such a great
Welcome.
job with that. I want to call on Dr. Nikita a moment. I'd like her to comment, please. We haven't seen her, and I want to welcome her back. Hello, Dr.
Hello,
Nikita.
everyone.
Welcome back.
Hi, thank you. Thank you so much. It's amazing listening to you guys. It's bringing back so many memories of myself and my journey with our products. And one of the things I wanted to share with you guys is that I started after my mom, right? And I have a problem with my teeth, bad problem with my teeth and my gums, and always for the last 4 years, 2 years, 4 years ago, for 2 years straight, I was in the hospital, hospitalized every 2 or 3 times a year, right? Because I had bad cells behind my face, right? And I go to the hospital and they tell me that I'm resistant to their medicine. So I'm like dealing with this at home, right? And then my mom comes up with these nice drops and all of these things. And I'm talking to Carol and I'm learning about all this. And I start doing research. And I found out that nano silver deals with can help detox away from parasites. So I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Let me try it. Now I still have all of this stuff going on, but I try it and I do the like ounce in my mouth and I notice my teeth stop hurting. And I'm like, Mom, my teeth stop hurting. And she's like, oh yeah, they told me it takes care of like anything alive that's going on in your body. So I'm like, oh, well, can I take it? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, let's see how much I can need to take it. We call and we're like, okay. So I start taking it, ounce in the morning, ounce in the afternoon. I had to buy a couple bottles, right? And then I'll start spraying it and inhaling it. And I did this for about maybe a week and a half. After a week and a half, the swelling in my face went down. Things went down. My teeth wasn't hurting. All of a sudden, all of the symptoms that I had were gone. And then I went to I had to go to an appointment with the tooth doctor. And I go, and he's like, I guess you're taking the medicine I gave you. And I'm like, yeah, no. And he's like, what's going on? I'm like, yeah, doing some other products here, So, I mean, it's amazing to be able to have something that was so detrimental to my face, to my body, and to be able to relieve something naturally without the pain. And then the plus relief, please. I mean, just a little bit on my jaw area, toothache's gone. It's amazing, these products. And to be able to have in your toolbox something that you can help your family with, yourself with, and your friends, invaluable. So I just wanted to share that real quick.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nikita. And I love the nano silver to brush my teeth with. I've been doing that. We talked about that a few weeks ago, and I think a couple people commented they weren't spitting out red stuff when they brush their teeth anymore. So, working with the inflammation in their mouths as well. Well, with that, I'd like to come into a close. Chip, I'd like to give you an opportunity to close us out if you would. And then I just have a couple announcements right after Chip.
Well, I'm just thinking of the moment. I heard that Lori Wallace is on tonight, and that was pretty cool. And that we had an event down at the Boca home office, and we were there, and Neil spoke and Rick spoke, and everybody else in the audience, kind of like tonight, we were kind of quiet. And then you hear like Dr. Nikita could speak up, and you realize, oh my gosh, everybody in every box. Hannah spoke, Alan spoke. Everybody that's in a box is a wonderful presenter. And I mean, we are wealthy with bright people that know a lot about health and what they're doing. Lori has her own beautiful little clinic, and she was brand new. I think she went by Marcy and filled out to join that first night, and then she thought, well, I'll just have some people over to my place. And Carol Witt's friend Linda came, and Lori's sponsor Tony was there, and Ed was there, and I was there, but nobody really knew anything about each other. We were just all there, and we're talking about a million things, and that was really fun. And then we finally worked around to where we knew each other a little bit and started telling our Avini stories, just like tonight. And it was kind of neat because I'm looking across the room, Ed's sitting on the couch, and I'm over by Lori's desk, and we're just listening to everybody, waiting for the conversation to find its way to the Avini products, and it certainly did, and what a joy it was. And I just moments along the way, those points along the way when you get to meet people. And I thought it was pretty interesting when Priscilla asked Dave Guilday what he does now, or maybe it was Richard Zimmer. You said, okay, you were cold calling before, and now what are you doing? And he said, I'm still cold calling. And most people, that's probably wouldn't have been their answer, but because of what we're able to do with each other, a cold call becomes a dear friend. And I know, several of us, because we've done this, have gotten to meet each other live now. I got to meet Novella and Dr. Nikita and had an idea who they were, but I wasn't sure until I heard their voices. But it's amazing because of what we do together, how well we get to know each other. And I just wrote a little note at the top: cold calls become friends. Cold calls become lifelong friends here. And that deal with Dave, learning here, he wasn't kidding about, a third grade education. And you hear him speaking, third grade to a master millionaire, trained doing this kind of thing, helping other people. I just love it. I love what we get to do together, and especially the Avini Vibes on Thursday night is a pretty big deal. And I really love it that Ed's picked up the products. Conversational. He's just talking about them, has a little story about each one, couple little details, and doesn't he do a great job? We can all do that. Anyway, those are some of the things I noticed tonight.
Thank you, Chip. It's good to have you back. Always love to have Chip with us to close us out. And I just want to thank you each for being here. Let me just take a quick peek. I have a few things. Remember, this month is business training and business month. So bring your friends, your family, your guests, your spouses. Maybe the spouse that's like mine sitting over there on the couch. I really want him to listen to Dave, but he'll have to listen to the recording. But he's right over there. He doesn't say he's listening, but I know he's listening. Call to action here on Regional Salt Lake. Remember, June 21st, that's coming up. If you're going to attend, if you know anybody in Salt Lake City, get them to the upcoming regional summit. And then we have the August summit in Las Vegas. Don't forget about that. We have so many resources here. It can be overwhelming. If anybody wants to simplify or need some help, I'm going to do a little training with Patricia on Monday. You can shoot me a text. You can join us if you just want to do some basic stuff in the back office or wherever you need to be. We're all here to support one another. And, you know, I forget who said this, that we're a natural holistic cleaning company for the entire body and the whole family. I think it was Eddie. Strive for peak performance and help yourself to be the best version of your younger self. That's why we're here. It's about yourself, but it's about your friends, your family, and your loved ones, and your pets. We'll see you all next week. Next week, we have MJ Durkin with us as our guest speaker. Yeah, so we'll all be practice this all week, whatever you gotta
Yeah.
practice your high fives and all. So MJ will be next week, and then the following week's a surprise, not yet confirmed, but you're gonna love them. And then Bev Ellis, a diamond on a little tiny island, Prince Edward Island. If she can build a business up there, wow, it's pretty powerful. I love her story. So God bless each and every one of you. See y'all next week, and keep up the good work by sharing Avini and taking care of your health, being the best version of yourself. God bless.
Tell me the details about
Thanks.
the Monday meeting.
I'm sorry.
Tell me
Oh,
the
Monday
details.
meeting. What I'll do is it's 3:00, and if you can shoot me an email, I'll send you the Zoom. Okay.
What coast? Eastern,
East Coast. East Coast. 3:00 Monday. East Coast. My email is, it's a long one, but it's liveyourfreedomday@gmail. Liveyourfreedomday@gmail. So shoot me a little note and I'll send you a Zoom link. God bless each and every one of you.
Good night, everyone. Good night.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Carol.
Night, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
It's been really real.